and welcome back to the GonzoEwok channel. I am Gonzo.
I am Ewok.
And today we're going to be playing a little bit more Project Zomboid. So, I'm just trying to recap on what we did last time. We started a little bit of construction. We might as well just hop straight into the game, I reckon.
Yeah, just jump straight in. Hopefully people have seen it by now. So this is Nuno Sasage. He's in Kate and Baldspot's house. It's the middle of the night. Are you rested? I think you are, so...
Yeah, I think we've somehow screwed our sleep patterns by the looks of it. Oh, no,
you've got the drowsy.
Let's go and have a nap, eh?
Now, normally we start at the title screen, but this is a new build of Project Zomboid. It was just updated, so we loaded it up so that it converted to the new build, and so we get straight into the game without it sitting on a long loading screen. Yeah,
it didn't actually take that long, though, when we were converting across from the old build to the current build 23. It only took maybe a couple of minutes.
It's strange, because it took quite a long time in my game. Maybe it's because we're only on... a quite early part of the game with Nuno.
And it looks as though actually we started this video with Nelly freezing to death as well. It looks as though Nuno nearly died of hypothermia through the night.
That's a good start,
So I think the first thing that we should do today, we've been having a little bit of a chat about what we'd like to do. I think we need to take inventory. It's been a little bit of time since we were playing. Obviously last recording session we were doing some Kerbal Space Program or Geordie Space Program, and now we need to find out a little bit more about what we've got going on back in the old Kate and Baldspot's house.
Now we're doing okay for fresh food there, but that's never going to last. What we really need is some sustainable, well, not sustainable food there. That's where farming comes in. But what we really need is some long life food, things like dried foods, tinned foods, things like that. We don't seem to have a lot of that.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be quite a good idea. Maybe if we can find some stuff to do a little bit of farming. But I suppose what we're kind of getting to is today looks as though it's going to be a good one to do a bit of a looting run. We'll see if we can get ourselves out there, and thinking really we should see if we can maybe hit downtown as well. It's probably time to do a bit of a shout out as well. We've had Project Zomboid user Steel Shrapnel, who's been very constructive in some of the feedback that he's given our previous videos, and he suggested for the next video we'll go and do a little bit of a looting run and show off a little bit of downtown Mojo.
So well, we aimed to please, so let's go for it.
Indeed.
Well, if you're going to do a shout out, I'll do a shout out as well. The Evil Giraffe Man, who's been very supportive. He's sent me a couple of messages, said he was really enjoying the videos, which is great. I mean, it's just what we were hoping for. We were hoping that we could entertain some people while we were having a bit of fun as well.
Yeah, and I think everything seems to be going pretty well on that front as well. I'm really pleased with how everything's been received, and if you're watching this and you haven't turned off already, well, thank you very much. Why have I got a random leak in the backpack? Where the hell did that come from?
I have no idea. You don't even like leak.
I don't. Well, I don't mind a leak. I can need a leak if I really need to. And mayonnaise as well. Right.
Well, that's going to be a little bit mingy, isn't it? Carrying the mayonnaise around for a couple of days in the backpack.
I don't think it's went rotten yet, so we'll see if we can get away with it. I'm just trying to work out exactly what. I only want to carry sort of bare bones equipment when we're going out.
Yeah, we want to have as much carrying capacity as possible. So we're going to want to take maybe something to drink and a little bit of food in case we get stuck out for longer than we need to. But other than that, we want a weapon to defend ourselves, some bandages in case we get damaged, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think that pistol is loaded from memory. Probably not going to need those nails.
You may as well keep the pistol just in case. Now you equipped the school bag there as secondary. Why didn't you put that on your back?
Because I was not really thinking. But yeah, that's what we're actually going to be doing there. We'll flip those over. Let's put that on the back. Axe in both hands. Obviously, an axe being a two-handed weapon works better when we've got it in both hands there. I think the school bag should be enough for what to carry some bits and pieces in.
I find the axes are still quite efficient when you're wielding them one-handed, but if you've got no reason to carry anything in your offhand, you may as well hold it in both hands for that extra bit of damage. It's the difference between killing something in one hit and killing something in two hits. And sometimes that's the difference between life and death, isn't it?
It certainly is. Now, am I being... Oh, there we go. For some reason, at some point, probably off camera, because it would be boring as shit to do it on camera, I think we're probably going to have to organise these cupboards, because I can't remember where we're putting anything. Have a quick look at the safe house. Maybe getting a door up towards the end of the recording today might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Just to give it that extra layer of security at the front door.
Okay,
it might be worth getting a sheet rope and hanging it on one of the top story windows in case of dire emergencies as well.
It's not a bad idea. I've got a bit of a sort of mixed blessing kind of relationship with a lot of the sheet ropes. Sometimes, I've experienced the odd glitch. I've sometimes kind of missed the sheet rope and just flung myself out.
In my current single player game, I did nearly kill my guy falling out of the second story window of a farmhouse because he glitched off the sheetrock a little bit. I like to think that anyone who's been watching this from episode 1, when I said I really didn't know much about the game, is probably amazed at my newfound knowledge, because I've been hitting it pretty hard since then and enjoying it immensely.
It's a sneaky game. There's a hell of a learning curve, but once you kind of start getting the hang of how to kind of get your basic survival down, it becomes very addictive very quickly.
It is. I mean, I've got a bit of a farm going in my game, and I find that I'm really, really attached to the crops. And I'll come into the game and I'll spend an entire hour session just watering crops and planting new crops and tending to my garden, my handiwork. Sometimes don't even see a zombie for the whole time, so I'm in quite an isolated place.
So, I'm just thinking exactly what sort of things are we going to go looking for and what sort of things are we going to go looking for. I suppose targets of opportunity, anything we can find. In the background, we need to think about things to carry water in.
Well, there was a whiskey bottle there. If you drink the whiskey, you'll get an empty bottle.
This is true, and I don't believe you can get drunk in the current build. That hasn't been around for a while, I don't think, so...
I believe you can tip it down the sink as well if you really don't want to drink it.
Just pour it on the ground, I think. Yeah, there we go.
Spare frying pan?
No, it's close enough to the safe house. We know where it is if it needs to be.
We'll pour out the whiskey and you can fill that with water now. One thing I have noticed, we had some problems in our last video with zooming, knocking the cursor off track.
Yeah.
Seems to be fixed in this new build 23.
Sweet.
I've had absolutely no problems with it since downloading the new patch.
Well, on my own computer, I've been running on the safe compatibility mode for a while, so I haven't really had much use of the zoom function. It's quite nice to come across the GonzoEwok and play on your nicer machine where I can't do these things.
I don't think it's anything to do with a nicer machine. It's just the state of play with an early access game. Some machines it'll work better on than others, and I think I've been pretty lucky on it. Although for the most part, there aren't any game-breaking bugs out there that I've known many people experience. A couple of people on the Steam forums had trouble launching, but they always seem to get it in the end with a little bit of help from the mods and the devs.
Yeah, I think there is very, very few kind of game-breaking bugs. I think a lot of people get frustrated fairly quickly if they can't get something working. Or it's not kind of working as described, but it's very rarely game breaking. It's just something that needs a little bit of tweaking.
Well, that goes for any title. I mean, the problems I had trying to get problems I had trying to get the first Mass Effect game to load up. Yeah,
I've got a bit of slight damage, no scratch. We're nowhere near downtown Moldro yet. We're just getting towards the highway, and already zombies are kind of sneaking left, right, and centre.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a risky place, the old freeway, isn't it? And there seems to be a couple of fairly fast ones around here.
There is, and we're tired, and we're hungry, awareness is down. Holy shitballs. I seem to remember the last time when I was here it was a little bit quiet. I think maybe in build 23 there's been a little bit of tweaking to the zombie spawns as well. Suddenly seems to be a lot more in the populated areas, which to be fair is what the game was like sort of pre-Steam. But there's always work going on the levels of zombies here, but we've certainly seen them keeping it old school, keeping it hardcore here as well.
Oh, it could just be the meta event of broken here.
Could be. I mean, I was hoping that this was going to be fairly quiet. I think what's happened is I've kind of been spoiled in the young kind of single play, just coming down the highway and seeing maybe one or two just lone Zeds.
Well, I don't think it is an issue with the new build, particularly the zombies one for him. Just because of my own personal experience when I wandered down the highway on the way to the playground and very quiet, very empty. You're not worried at all? I always get worried in situations like this.
I know it. That's why I'm very, very quiet here. I'm trying not to die.
Well, it is part of the course to deal with this sort of situation when you're playing the game, but it's still no less terrifying, and predominantly because it's so bloody easy to die.
Right, fuck this, I'm getting away from the town centre here. We're going to start looting a few houses, I think. That's rapidly changed. We're not well equipped enough and we're not skilled enough to be able to take on zombie numbers like that yet.
Well, one of the things that we desperately need is a good supply of long-lasting foods, and
houses will do the trick for that.
Houses will do the trick for that.
Where did that come from?
It's an interesting start. I hope that we're not going to have another max bot on our hands. If we lose one protagonist every episode, it's going to get particularly messy very quickly.
To be fair, whoa, Jesus. To be fair, I'm kind of out of witty nicknames as well. I'm really going to kind of struggle to think of a third good character name, to be honest.
Well, at least make sure they're dead.
Oh no.
Do you want me to take over?
No, actually, you shut the fuck up, you. I'll take care of this.
There we
Right,
go.
that's a very reassuring.
Check the old health.
There. Sure, we got away with that.
I think so.
We've got
Overall
away
body
with
status
that.
okay. In fact,
We've
it was
got
slightly
away with
better
that.
than before.
Okay, it's because we're well fed. We'll be getting a little bit of food on the go as well. That'll help out. It's getting a bit thirsty. I thought you had a drink there. None of them mustn't. The characters mustn't drink things like orange soda. Up front, I'll tell you what.
What happened to that whiskey bottle?
I put it in the bag.
Well, fill it full of water.
It is full of water, but yeah, we'll fill the pop bottle. There's a zombie bang on the door there.
That's at the window.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I panicked again.
So if we die, we'll blame Steel Shrapnel, who said he wanted to see some more.
Yeah, now I see why he
looting.
said it, the vindictive bastard. Clearly he's got his hands on Build 23 and thought, yeah, it'll be funny, I'll just send them across there. So maybe, not as friendly as first he once appeared then.
I'll tell you what's probably a good talking point for this episode. It's not something that we can do right now because we're focused very much on the single player game. But over the weekend, multiplayer was released on one of the beta threads, so it's available for public testing now.
Yeah,
it's not ready all bells and whistles. There are glitches with it that are known, which is why it's not on the main update list. Ooh,
Shit,
dear
get out
me.
of here.
But it's something that the community have been crying out for a long time, and it's something
it's been
that's,
well
that's finally
anticipated.
arrived.
I'm not sure. I mean, have you managed to get your hands on it at all, Ewok? Have you jumped into it? I tried to find a server.
Well, I haven't because it only came with Build 23, which was just released a couple of days ago.
The multiplayer build or Build 23. Sorry, I got distracted. I thought I was being eaten alive there.
Well, I thought you said that that the multiplayer's on a. I'm making a right idiot of myself, right? The multiplayer's on a test build, so you have to opt into it by going to Steam and selecting beta.
That's right, yeah.
And I think my main concern was that if I downloaded a test build which was less stable to try and test out the multiplayer, that it might cause corruption with the single player that we've got going here.
Yeah, I mean, if you
And
opt into
the last thing that I want to do is lose the time that we've invested so far into these episodes. So
yeah, I mean, that
as
makes
much
sense,
as I am
yeah.
really looking forward to playing multiplayer, I think it's something I'm going to
on
have
the
to
side
hold
of
off
caution,
on
sort of, yeah.
until we're done with this particular Let's Play.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have kind of messed around a little bit as well. I've done a little bit of server hopping. I've jumped in a little bit just to sort of try it out, and it's really, really good fun. And for me, I've been okay to kind of I was okay to kind of hopped into the multiplayer, opt into it, quickly download it. It's a tiny file to download to get into the multiplayer, try it a bit, and then hop back into Build 23. And it seemed to be okay, but I can't say that would be the same for everybody and everybody's PC, And so if you've got a save game there that you've put a lot of time and effort into, it's probably best to kind of hold off, or at the very least make a backup of it,
I mean, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking to sort of play the game and have fun with the game as a game, it's probably best to stick to the stable main Steam releases. But if you're really excited for multiplayer, or if you're in the early access experience because you want to be sort of a tester, you want to test the new build, give feedback to the development team, get involved in the actual building process, then that's when you want to start thinking about opening up your Steam menu and opting into the beta builds.
Yeah, I think that's
I mean, different people
logic, really.
Different people want different things out of early access experiences with different games. I mean, sometimes I buy a game because I like the look of it and want to play it. Sometimes I buy the game because I'm really, really interested in it and I want to get involved with the community and the testing side of things. I mean, Zomboid, I'd love to be more active on the testing side of things because it does have a great community, and I've been hanging around the forums a bit, and I'd love to be in the position where I could test out these less stable builds and try out some of the new features and give feedback and things like that. But until we've got this game safe and secure. It's not feasible at the moment, unfortunately, so I'll rely on hearing second hand about all these new features from you, mate.
Alright, okay, and that's just a nice burden on my shoulders. Probably worth pointing out here, because I know a few people have had complaints, and a lot of people are worried about these little chaps here as well, the colloquially named crawlers.
Keep an eye out behind you as well, buddy.
As you can see with the crawlers there, a lot of people worry about them because they can cause damage very quickly, a little crawling biting machine. The thing that a lot of people overlook is that obviously look how slow the thing kind of turns. I mean, if we kind of keep our eyes on it there, it's not too bad just to kind of walk around to the side and just twat the thing. It's not a big deal. I think it's no different to somebody playing like a war game. You're playing something like Total War and you're attacking a pike wall. You wouldn't run at it head first, would you? Because that's where the business end is.
Because they're coming at you with their head right at the front, unlike the upright zombies, they'll come at you arms first. You're more likely to suffer a scratch.
Yeah.
And if you get attacked by one of the crawlers, you will get a bite if you're going at it from the front. But as you say, sneak around the side, sneak around the back, and you can beat it up with more or less impunity.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite easy to take out for the most part. You've just got to get around the side, As you can see, I didn't have to run. I had my weapon ready, just quite happily got a bit of distance, backed off from the thing, to play it safe.
Of course, the biggest danger is that you mistake them for a corpse and walk up to them. But you'll notice with corpses, if you're not facing them, they still appear visible. Whereas with the crawlers, if you look away from them, they fade out of the line of vision, just the same way a normal zombie would. So
yeah, it's
have a quick check.
A
quick check that way. That might be something that they patch out in a later build. I don't know, but at the moment, it's definitely a useful way forward.
Looks like some shit went down in this house here.
Yeah, there's a couple of zombies over there next to the fridge.
I'm thinking it looks as though it's a good side, though. It might be worth kind of going in there and having a bit of a look. So there we go.
There we go. There's a crawler, because it disappears when you're not looking at it.
Just get the draw on that little fucker. Oh no, no, that's fine. Sorry to bother you. Stay in the house.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think we can ignore that house.
Yeah. Okay, this is a little bit.
So this isn't a neighbourhood that I've been to in my game. I think you're slightly north of where I was for the first part of my game. I was next to the pharmacy and the housings down there. Based on where you were on the highway, I think you might be slightly north of that position.
Yeah, I'm north of the town here. Yeah.
But in my game, I sort of started in a residential area. I stayed there for a couple of days, and then sort of just wandered off into the wilderness.
I'm not sure if you saw that. That window kind of looked open. I opened the window to the left, but the second one kind of looked open as we approached the house, and I've just closed it there. That's a bit odd. I'm not sure if that's maybe a new feature that's been put into 23. Maybe having sort of simulated sort of all windows are open stuff's going on.
There have been reports of open windows and open doors in the forums.
Well, there we go. It looks as though that's definitely a thing. That's not anything I've ever seen before, but I'm sure we'll have to watch the video back at some point, and check it out.
At the very least, it gives you the illusion that there's other people there.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice touch. Makes the world feel a bit more kind of lived in, doesn't it?
We've mentioned that multiplayer is now available for public access for the people who opt into that beta branch. I suppose the other big thing that's been anticipated is NPCs. A lot of people have been asking when NPCs are coming. It's a feature that it was in the game at one point in a very basic form, but the developers have been sort of quite cagey on the NPCs. I think for good reason, because they have mentioned them before, and people immediately started shouting out for them.
There was a video kind of went up with very, very early footage. It was a Mondoid post, I think, early last year. It must have been a good year ago now. But of course, as soon as people saw like moving video of sort of NPC footage, everybody kind of got it, or a lot of people, I should say, got it into their head saying, "Oh, there must be must be a few weeks, must be a few months away, but we can see video footage here." And I think the developers might have kind of wanted to take a bit of a back step from that, and kind of you don't want to kind of ride a bit of a hype train. I'm just gonna have to get out of this house so I can try and get my chain of thought. But yeah, I think they're still probably a while off. I mean, there was a little bit of talk about them in the Mondoid video. We can talk about that as well. That's just been released. That was just yesterday at time of recording.
I mean, they are being very careful about managing people's expectations these days, and that's not to say that they're not actually working on the stuff. They just don't like to show it prematurely. I mean, think about multiplayer. They only sort of announced that they were close to multiplayer maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at the most.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And things were up on the Steam forums over the last week. It was around about last sort of Monday or Tuesday, and people were saying, "Oh, I've seen multiplayer. Where's multiplayer?"
Oh no!
I've seen footage of it, but it's not here yet. When's the build going to be updated? And then it just sort of crept in over the weekend out of nowhere. I don't think they wanted to turn around and say it was definitely coming because they couldn't make that promise. But it was close.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm thinking in terms of the NPC side of things. I think it's, the worry is for me that a lot of people are kind of, I hate to say kind of frustrating is, but I'm feeling a little bit of frustration from the developer's perspective as well. They've been putting a lot of work into multiplayer, but a lot of people think that the developers just seem to kind of focus on one task, and then all of the development team are just 100% of the time working on that one feature. And no doubt, you can see that even though it's very early days with multiplayer, it's got a lot of work to be done on it, but it is quite playable. It's something you can hop into and have fun with, bugs aside. But that doesn't mean that that's been the sole focus of all the development team. There has been a lot of stuff going on in the background, and it kind of irks us a little bit to see some members of the community just saying, "Oh, because you've released multiplayer, you're now ignoring NPCs." And it's you said it yourself as well. Oh, we had them once, and then that's made a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it's nothing to put them back in." But I'm willing to bet that a lot of those people weren't around back when the NPCs were still in the game. There's one behind. Yeah. That was back in the days of like the 2.5 versions. We had NPCs, but literally they were just animated sprites that kind of ran around in their own kind of seeming patterns, randomly opening doors and windows, randomly eating food. There was like a very basic communication system. You could like click some different icons at the bottom of the screen, and that would kind of give you a rough indication of kind of the mood that you wanted to be in when you talk to them. But you couldn't really do much with them. You could tell them to guard somewhere or follow you, but that didn't actually give you any kind of guarantee they would do anything anyway. They were just a drain on resources. They would walk around the map eating shit. And so generally, to be honest, a lot of the older players, the likes of myself who were around in those earlier builds, you just killed them on sight. They weren't fun. They didn't add anything really to the game apart from just a sprite running around
and being a walking loot pile.
Yeah, that's all they did really. So for people saying, "Oh, I wish they could just put them back in the game,"
it's better to wait and wait for something good.
That's it. I think it's the old saying, isn't it? So you can have it right or you can have it right now, basically. And I'd much rather wait and get something that, I'm not expecting it to be incredibly well polished. I'm not expecting the NPCs that we'll first see when eventually they do come out. I'm not expecting them to be perfect by any stretch.
Well, we're still talking about a game that is effectively an alpha. There's a lot of ways to go. And frankly, I think it's incredibly playable for the stage in development that it's in.
Totally.
To be honest, I'm not actually that fussed about NPCs. I know there's a lot of people after them, but I quite like
sort of Last Man on Earth style.
Yeah, being the sole survivor.
That's because you're an egomaniac, though.
Well, perhaps. No, I like the game in the form that it is. That I'm completely self-reliant, completely self-sufficient. I'm sure NPCs will add something to that. I'm sure when they do add NPCs, there'll be the option in the sandbox mode to turn them on and off, so it'll satisfy anyone and whatever anyone wants to do. But there's so many people calling out for so many features, and the time of the development team, and it is a small development team, is very small. And I'm happy for them to be the judges of what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how they need to focus their time, because they've made a game that I like, so I trust them to continue making the improvements that I like at their own pace and in their own way.
For me, it was a conscious decision probably about 2 years ago now, back playing the 2.5 build, and it was when the hype was coming out for the current series of builds. And I can still remember thinking back then and having that kind of dialogue with myself, saying, you know what, if the development team did just disappear tomorrow, if development of the game for whatever reason stopped as it is right now, I wouldn't have felt hard done by. I'd be pissed off, because I think there's a huge amount of potential in the game. But I would say, well, you know what, I got my money's worth. I'm quite happy with the price that I've paid and the time and the fun that I've had with the game as it stands, and it's something that I would still continue to play.
Right,
so anything else that gets added for me is just a really, really awesome bonus,
Well, I paid £10 for this game, and well, I don't even know how many hours I've put into it, but more than I would in most AAA releases.
Mind, I've got to be honest, for the amount of hours that I have played the game, you wouldn't think it by the shit playing that I'm doing at the moment. To be honest, I'll tell you what's got me here. I'm rattled. I'm really rattled by the amount of zombies that are going on here as well. Just trying to catch your breath, trying to
find somewhere to rest up.
Yeah, trying to get a dialogue in my head for what we're going to be doing and how we're going to kind of push this forwards, because I'm just not getting respite. You can see, I mean, I think it's something that it's terrifying, but it's just done so well. I mean, I'm properly terrified of all the zombies we've got here. They're relentless. I can't get anywhere to find some respite. I'm doing panicky circles trying to find somewhere just to hold up, get some food, get rested, collect my thoughts, work out what I'm going to do. And I just can't find the space to get my brain in gear and work out what I'm going to do here. I'm playing completely just off reaction.
And do you think how safe and secure you feel when you're around your safe house and you know there's not much around you, and you get to a stage where you're feeling secure, you're feeling safe, you're feeling like nothing can touch you, and then the moment you get into a sticky situation, you do panic because you've invested a lot of time. Maybe not so much in this video because we're still in the early stages. I mean, say I was playing my game, I've built up a nice little safe house, I've got farms on the go, I've got water supplies, I've put a lot of work into it, but I still have to go out and scavenge and get things, and whenever I do, I know that all it's going to take is one encounter, and then all of that work is just gone.
Well, you should see there, I tried to get into that house, tried to pop a window. I got away with it. I'm being very, very lucky here. We've got a couple of character points to spend here. Really, I want to get blunt up a little bit more. It might be worth just taking out some zombies. I kind of need carpentry as well, though. Actually, there's a point. I'll take carpentry.
And then we can put a door on the safe house.
I think we could anyway, but I'm just thinking, I know I've picked up carpentry for beginners. We won't need that anymore because I'm
not a beginner anymore.
Yeah, there we go. Still need to get that up another level if I want to get a rain collector. That's something that I'm thinking about sooner rather than later as well. But yeah, definitely we need to get
somewhere safe.
Up. Yeah, this is just fucking lunacy right now. So sorry, Steel Shrapnel. It looks as though that confident swagger I have, and I said, yeah, no problem. I'll show you how to do that. I can do that, no problem. Show you how it's done, boy.
To be fair, this stretch of street is looking a little bit quieter, and that's it. You've just been mauled there.
Where? Oh no! I didn't even see that guy. I was too busy looking at my noodles. Scratched. 4 scratches.
The 4th scratch. Oh
Fuck
dear!
me.
This could be the end. This could be the end of Zomboid as we know it.
Fuck! Oh no! I was going to say fuck all y'all, but there's like dozens of them, so I'm getting away from them.
Back to the safe house.
Yeah, we need to grab a minute. That's all we need. Just 10 seconds, just to think.
To rest, recuperate, arm up, and think about what the next action is.
I mean, they're just shit hot. Fuck off! Sick of these. Just give a break.
Well, I suppose if we do die here, we could always start a let's play of the multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm not trying to throw this. That's not happening. I am genuinely not trying to get myself eaten.
Well, I can tell. I mean, you're fighting hard. I wouldn't say well, but
no.
Hard.
I'm blaming your mouse. It's this gaming mouse that you've got. It's far too sensitive. I knew I should have fixed that before we started recording.
Hey, don't rag on the gaming mouse.
It's so slow.
You can't rag on any of my gear. I've got all the best gear. Are you bleeding out?
Not particularly, but I still want to get that bandage and I need some food on board. But trying to do this and not being eaten, it's proven impossible. It's just far too intense right now.
Yeah, there isn't anywhere where there's...
Oh, highway there, we'll go zombie downtown. Makes perfect sense to come to the most populated fucking part, doesn't it? Well done. Well done.
Right, let me try and get a gauge of where we are on the highway. Okay, keep going north.
I think we're standing still for bandages, I think.
I don't think that's a good idea right now.
No, certainly not.
Keep going north. I think if you keep going north, there will be a little cut on the left-hand side that you can dip down there and you can run to the logging company.
Right, okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And the logging company is normally quite quiet, and there's a couple of little shacks that you could lock yourself in. I'm not sure this is the path, to tell you the truth.
No, I'm not running off into the fucking zombie-infested woods on your behest, Ewok.
That's an entirely unfamiliar path. We're in a completely different place to where I thought we were.
You can see how slow I'm moving. I need to be able to stop. I need to get some food on board. And I need bandaging. and I just can't get that done right now because I just can't cop a break in the slightest. What's this road? Ooh, I haven't seen this before.
Well, we're getting a little bit further away from them.
Certainly, even if it's just to get something to eat. We've been out all night.
And, yeah, Nuno's very slow.
Need some food on board. Eat everything.
Eat some pie and chips.
Right, that's food
Meal
on
of
board.
champions.
Oh god, grabbed.
Oh.
Still just the same scratch, but come on, just give a fucking break.
See, I was thinking we might make this a two-parter, but I'm not sure we'll
I'm not
get
even
that
going to
far.
live that long, let's be honest.
If we survive 4 scratches, that's the most I've ever seen survived. My current guy had 3.
I'm not feeling confident for that.
Well,
They're persistent little fuckers, aren't they?
yeah, just keep it moving. That's your path.
This path here and the up here.
Yeah, that's going to lead somewhere safe. I can feel it. I don't think
I can feel it.
I don't think it's the logging company path, but go for it. Out of the populated area. Actually, that may well be the path that leads to the logging company. Now, there isn't any beds anywhere there, but like I say, there's a shack you can climb into, get your bearings.
We just need somewhere to
and
sleep.
you might be able to find some equipment.
The thing is, you can see how slow the guy's running. There's no way we can do anything without getting some sleep. The guy needs a night's sleep.
Well, I'm not sure about housing near the logging company.
A chair will do it. Fuck it. Not bothered. Anything we can get, we'll take.
I only suggested coming this way because it'll take you away from the zombies or the munchers or whatever you want to call them.
Hopefully, if we've only got maybe a few up here, we can clear them out, get some equipment, get his head down. I'm just concerned it means that we're going to be kind of operating nocturnally, and I think that's actually, if you're a good player, I think that's a pretty good idea, to be honest, to kind of sleep during the day and go out at night. You know, it makes it much easier to hide from zombies on the one part if you're not running around town like a maniac like I've just been doing.
Yeah, they're not particularly perceptive, so it can be handy.
Okay.
Now, if you take him down, I think there's a larger shack, sort of little. There we go. There you see it.
I'm just going to look at this building and see what's happened, because I thought for a second it looked as though there was a sheet in the window. Don't think there is though.
Oh, it just looks like a little
Control booth,
little
like a
control
security
panel,
booth.
yeah. I mean, there's the portaloos. I spent quite a while with a frying pan knocking the door off one of the portaloos to see if there was anything interesting inside.
And was there?
There was a toilet, which I wouldn't recommend drinking from.
Can in an emergency.
Would you drink from a chemical toilet, though?
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Sorry, I still can't get my brain in gear after that nightmare run through the edge of town.
Or would you drink from a chemical toilet that has been frequented by Kentucky lumberjacks?
I fail to see what your problem is with Kentucky lumberjacks, I'll be honest.
And there's a little water point there if you want to fill the bottles up.
Can we do that for me? Oh, we can. Just have a drink.
Hey, so you're in my territory now. This is stuff that I've explored and that you haven't.
Yeah, I haven't been
I
here
feel
for a
good for once.
while.
Okay, you can sleep in the chair. Once you get out, there's a couple of storage containers that we can go and check.
Cool.
There's a good chance of finding an axe in there, or the kind of stuff that you'd find in the factories. You can go up to the actual piles of logs and you can take logs and planks from them.
Well, we're
Although,
certainly.
I probably wouldn't
it's a hell
recommend
of a hike to
carrying
do that.
carrying them all back.
You know, I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, oh yeah, we'll just go to town, we'll do a little bit of looting, we'll get some gear. And I was thinking, oh yeah, we could set up like a second safe house as a fallback point. And now I'm thinking, fuck me, there's no way I can do that I can find without being much more seriously tooled up.
I'd head down sort of southwards in the direction you're going now, and you should come across 2 storage containers. One of them will be closed, but one of them's open. And
These bad boys here.
yeah, those are the ones. And that one's filled with crates, so hopefully find something juicy in there.
Good loot, yeah.
Careful, because it's pitch black once you get in there, so you might want to
Just take these.
you might want to make a little bit of noise to see if anything comes crawling out at you. I feel happy with my relatively modest amount of hours compared to you, that I'm now in the position where I can give you a bit of advice.
I'm glad, because I feel thoroughly unhappy with the way that I've been playing so far as well.
There you go. Welcome to the lumber yard. where you can get anything you need. Batteries, paint, seeds, you name it.
Plank. Yeah, that was worth it.
Oh, there's a lot more boxes in there. I think only so many of them can show up on the inventory, so try moving around a little bit.
I mean, let's be honest. We first came out here. No, fuck it. We first came out here because we needed non-perishable food. Instead, all we've done is eat the small amount of non-perishable food that we brought with us, being scratched. Although, actually, there's a good point. He has slept through. It's been a good bit of time since he was scratched, and I'm not seeing him getting anxious.
He seems to be alright.
Don't want to put a curse on it, but might have just getting away with a fourth scratch.
Well, there's one other storage container that I know of that is open. Although I haven't explored the entirety of the lumberyard.
There is outbuildings here, though, as well. I was sure, isn't there? There's a couple of buildings. There might be some stuff worth taken out of them.
I believe there's a factory just to the north of the lumberyard.
Right.
But then once you go past that, you're sort of really getting out into the sticks, and you won't see anything for a long time. So I don't know how far you wanna take this, really. I mean, I walked all the way into the farmlands and to a small village from here, and it took about 2 days of solid walking to actually get there.
Okay, well, we're not equipped for that.
Yeah, we don't have the food to survive the journey, really.
Okay, then. It's starting to get late again after sleeping for most of the day.
How's his health status? Is he doing any better?
Let's just get something to eat first, and then we'll drop that down.
Yeah, you're doing okay. That's not too bad.
Can you remember whereabouts the way out of this was?
Yeah, you need to go further south to get to the exit.
Cool. I think see if we can maybe just head back and maybe just dip in somewhere. I'm thinking really what I'm wanting now is a lot of bullets, and I know guns are generally a very bad idea, but there's that many zombies. I want to do some clearance.
Well, your exit's here, and if you follow this path straight forward, you'll hit the freeway again.
Yeah.
You'll come out relatively near the garage.
We'll do this, but we'll not be wusses about it. I'm not going to do what I've just done for the past 15-20 minutes, which is just run like a maniac, because all the kind of tips when we first put our first video up saying, yeah, that's very, very amateurish mistake, you don't want to do it. Basically, I've just given you a lesson on how to play like an absolute spanner, really.
Well, it's very easy to say you don't want to do this, but when you're surrounded by them...
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, you can outwalk most of them, but when they're chasing you and they're coming in from all sides, your natural reaction is to hit the sprint button and just go for it. And you tend to attract more attention that way. That
was exactly the problem that we had there, and you see, again, on previous builds, you would do that, you would get yourself away, and you would find some breathing space. You could run. You know, if you think back our first video, right? I've broke contact with that group. I can keep moving. I'll be okay. Every time I was trying to break contact with them here, I'm running into another little mini pack of them. That's causing some serious worry for us.
So you've got this road here. You can either continue straight on and through that sort of country path that'll lead you to the freeway, or you can actually start following the road north or south. It's up to you, really.
To say there was, it's just kind of like a little lay-by kind of thing.
I mean, if you continue going south, I think you'll eventually hit the small factory, and there's a construction site there.
It's not really kind of what we're after. We need.
There are houses as well. There's a small factory, and then just across the road from that, there's a bunch of bungalows.
No, to be honest, I'm going to go back. I said at the start of the video I was going to clear out a little bit around downtown Muldrow, and I was going to do some looting there. Now that I've calmed down a little bit, I'm just starting to find my groove. I'm a little bit rusty. It's been a few days since I've played. We're going to go back, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to hit one of those restaurants, we're going to empty it, and then we're going to get fat on the profits.
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's been a disastrous start, but we've got a solid plan in mind. We know exactly what we're going to be doing. So why don't we hit the pause button? We'll call a wrap on part 1 of episode 3, and then we will come back in a few minutes.
Sounds good. I'll see if I can stop bricking it for a couple of minutes as well.
I'll freshen my brews, get us sorted, and then we'll come back. Part 2 coming up.
Fantastic.